Yeah. So you were talking your first talk about the Thanksgiving and your dissatisfaction with it that progressed to finding a better way, and then the second one where you were talking about um, like building your business and not being what you were hoping. Both of them are kind of touching on what I was originally wanting to ask, which is to some degree we define things by their opposite, right? We appreciate summer because of winter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything that we like because we've experienced the opposite and said, "Oh, I don't like that very
Yes. Yep.
much." And obviously, for those of us at the beginning of uh, Abraham Hicks, we're trying to manifest the things we like, right? But I would imagine, do you how do you when you once you're really good at manifesting and so everything's really what you want, how do you get the opposite of that? How do you still have that contrast to know?
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry.
Still
Don't
plenty of
worry.
contrast.
Don't worry. You will still get the contrast. You just realize stuff. I don't want to take I would say that you can manifest your stuff directly, the money, the house, the property. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I still probably do that to some extent. Let's see. Let me think about what am I manifesting. I would say it's a combination. I would say for me, it's a lot, maybe like 80% is just general stuff and maybe 20% is direct stuff. And so it would be, but you always have to go to what is the emotion I would feel, like the wine importing business, right? I was activating the emotion I would feel if I got to introduce myself as a wine importer, right? Rather than activating how like wealth and prosperity feels, rather than activating what loving my life feels like, right? So if let's say somebody had a physical like a disease or something wrong with their body, right? You could do both ways, right? You could do a combination, and I probably do a combination, right? So it would basically be like, how would you feel if you felt vibrant, right? Or how would you feel if you felt, I'm trying to think of this in the best way, right? Because that's actually not right. Maybe you're like, I'm on the path to, let's say you have a bunch of things wrong with your body. This is something I just went through after having a baby and having like massive, massive inflammation and like tons of body pain, right? So in order to do that, there was a piece of it that was, I was very much taking action from a place of needing to solve the problem, right? Which was like, my elbow hurts. What do I do? Call the doctor, go to the physical therapist. And so for a long time, I was taking the actions that were inspired from problem energy. So it wasn't until I realized like, oh man, I really have to be on my journey of wellness. Like I really have to be on this journey. I really have to be manifesting like wellness, like a whole path of wellness. I can't really think specifically about my elbow pain because it's not believable, right? If I think about my elbow pain, or hip pain or whatever, so one of the many pains I had, I would get down really quick. So I found that I was able to talk about manifesting a path of wellness without getting wishy-washy, without being wishy-washy about it. So then in that, it's like, okay, well, now that I am on this path, now that I'm activating wellness, what new ideas do I have, right? You Google new things. I was inspired to go see a naturopath doctor that I had seen a few years prior that I hadn't yet involved, because in problem energy, my joints hurt energy and the problem. I thought to call my Western doctor. I thought to call my Western doctor and go through that route. But then when I got on wellness, it turned out that I thought to go see my naturopath. And I remember showing up being like, I don't even know what I'm expecting this lady to say. but like she was able to say like, let's test your gut, let's test these food sensitivities, and like, and it was her who helped identify that there was like inflammation caused by some like gut issues. So really, I'm kind of going down this path. So I'm trying to think right now. Okay, do I manifest just the emotions of things, and do I actually manifest? To be honest, I think I probably at this point, just now that I'm really thinking about it, just go to the end result, the end feelings of what I'm wanting. Even with this community, right? Like there's so much things I'm doing right now, right? YouTube videos, TikTok videos, which go to Instagram, learning how to engage with people online, this meetup, the website where I have the course and the other community. And sometimes I will do things with like the idea that I want an outcome, right? Like, oh, it would be great to have more members or to grow this group. And so I will then maybe think about that and will then get inspired. Well, okay, we'll do this and do that and do this. And it's not that any of those things are right or wrong, but it is way better when I forget the details and just go to things like, I love chatting about law of attraction. I love my incredible abundant life. I love to laugh. I love my family, right? And so really, whenever I go into details, even if I'm doing it in kind of like a law of attraction-y way, it kind of gets messy until I realize nothing matters. What do I really want? I love talking about law of attraction. I want to talk about it with whoever else wants to talk about law of attraction, right? And so when I just go there, then I don't, and then I do whatever that kind of is inspired next. None of the details matter. It doesn't matter if one person shows up to a Zoom or if 15 or 20 people show up to Zoom. Because if let's say one person showed up, maybe that's the night I totally maybe I messed something up. Maybe the technology doesn't work. Like, I don't know. So we can't really judge what actually happens in the meantime. So really at this point, it's all, for me personally, it's as much as I can remember, and it's not like I remember 100% of the time, right? I'm not doing, like, I go through dips. I can be cranky. I can be grumpy. I can get problem oriented. The difference is I'll catch myself pretty quickly, and I won't stay there for long without doing something. Maybe the worst case scenario for me is being grumpy and like in something for a couple days, right? But most of the time it might be a couple hours, maybe a full day. And then I just need to kind of shake it out and shift out. So the difference is not that I'm not going through those things, that I'm not all of a sudden like trying to get a specific thing. It's just that as soon as I realize I don't have good vibes about it, then I have just a different way of going about it than the average person. It would be like, there's nothing more important than me feeling good right now. Because it doesn't matter if I feel stressed because A, B, and C happened. It just doesn't matter, because if I am tolerating that stress, what I'm really saying is that I'm okay with manifesting more of that. So it's always going to be about coming back to, how do I feel right now? And if I don't want more of how I'm feeling right now, some shit's got to change. Something's got to go. And anything is fair game. Anything is fair game. We teach multiple processes in this group, but if having a beer with a friend helps, that's fair game. If going for a walk or a run helps, that's fair game. If eating a cookie helps, that's fair game. If cooking a healthy meal helps, that's also fair game. But I would say that whenever I'm doing my best manifesting, it's when I really just come back to the few core things in my life that I want more of and focus on them. And because I've drank the Kool-Aid so much with law of attraction, I know with every fiber of my being that when I do that, and I'm primarily activating emotions that I want, I have nothing to worry about. I do not have to worry about any detail of anything that's going on. If I am intentionally often activating things that I want. It's not perfect, you guys, right? We don't have to be perfect 100% of the time. You can have a shitty attitude 49% of the time and and have a good attitude for 51% of the time, right? If you're having a good attitude over something 51% of the time, that means you're tipping the scale. That means you're building momentum. which still allows you to screw up 49% of the time and still get results. Right? So now it's just a matter of speed. It's a matter of speed. So if I can, only be naughty 20% of the time and be really good at 80%, shit, things are going to go fast, you guys. I'm never operating at more than 70 or 80%, right? So like we can have a lot of we can really let ourselves off the hook for feeling like we have to practice this all the time. That may have been a little tangential. I don't even remember what I was talking about, but let's go back. Greg, I saw your hand up, but we haven't heard from Kristen yet. So we're going to go to Kristen and then I'm going to pop back over to you, Greg.